In his stories of how he had carried Margarita Nikolaevna's naked housekeeper on his back through the air, somewhere to hell and beyond, for a swim in a river, and of the preceding appearance of the bare Margarita Nikolaevna in the window, Nikolai Ivanovich departed somewhat from the truth. Thus, for instance, he did not consider it necessary to mention that he had arrived in the bedroom with the discarded shift in his hands, or that he had called Natasha Venus. From his words it looked as if Natasha had flown out the window, got astride him, and dragged him away from Moscow. Obedient to constraint, I was compelled to submit, Nikolai Ivanovich said, and finished his tale with a request that not a word of it be told to his wife. Which was promised him. The testimony of Nikolai Ivanovich provided an opportunity for establishing that Margarita Nikolaevna as well as her housekeeper Natasha had vanished without a trace. Measures were taken to find them. Thus every second of Saturday morning was marked by the unrelenting investigation. In the city during that time, completely impossible rumors emerged and floated about, in which a tiny portion of truth was embellished with the most luxuriant lies. It was said that there had been a séance at the Variety after which all 2,000 spectators ran out to the street in their birthday suits, that a press for making counterfeit money of a magic sort had been nabbed on Sadovaya Street, that some gang had kidnapped 5 managers from the entertainment sector, but the police had immediately found them all, and many other things that one does not even wish to repeat. Meanwhile it was getting on towards dinner time, and then, in the place where the investigation was being conducted, the telephone rang. From Sadovaya came a report that the accursed apartment was again showing signs of life. It was said that its windows had been opened from inside, that sounds of a piano and singing were coming from it, and that a black cat had been seen in a window, sitting on the sill and basking in the sun. At around 4 o'clock on that hot day, a big company of men in civilian clothes got out of 3 cars a short distance from number 502 bis on Sadovaya Street. Here the big group divided into 2 small ones, the first going under the gateway of the house and across the courtyard directly to the 6th entrance, while the second opened the normally boarded-up little door leading to the back entrance, and both started up separate stairways to apartment number 50. Just then Koroviev and Azazello, Koroviev in his usual outfit and not the festive tailcoat, were sitting in the dining room of the apartment finishing breakfast. Woland, as was his wont, was in the bedroom, and where the cat was nobody knew. But judging by the clatter of dishes coming from the kitchen, it could be supposed that Behemoth was precisely there, playing the fool, as was his wont. "And what are those footsteps on the stairs?" asked Koroviev, toying with the little spoon in his cup of black coffee. "That's them coming to arrest us," Azazello replied and drank off a glass of cognac. "Ah well, Koroviev replied to that. The ones going up the front stairway were already on the third-floor landing. There a couple of plumbers were pottering over the harmonica of the steam heating. The newcomers exchanged significant glances with the plumbers. "They're all at home," whispered one of the plumbers, tapping a pipe with his hammer. Then the one walking at the head openly took a black Mauser from under his coat, and another beside him took out the skeleton keys. Generally, those going to apartment number 50 were properly equipped. Two of them had fine, easily unfolded silk nets in their pockets. Another of them had a lasso, another had gauze masks and ampules of chloroform. In a second the front door to apartment number 50 was open and all the visitors were in the front hall, while the slamming of the door in the kitchen at the same moment indicated the timely arrival of the second group from the back stairs. This time there was, if not complete, at least some sort of success. The men instantly dispersed through all the rooms and found no one anywhere, but instead on the table of the dining room they discovered the remains of an apparently just abandoned breakfast, and in the living room, on the mantelpiece, beside a crystal pitcher, sat an enormous black cat. He was holding a primus in his paws. Those who entered the living room contemplated this cat for quite a long time in total silence. Yes, that's quite something," one of the men whispered. "Ain't misbehaving, ain't bothering anybody, just reparating my primus," said the cat with an unfriendly scowl. "And I also consider it my duty to warn you that the cat is an ancient and inviolable animal." "Exceptionally neat job," whispered one of the men, and another said loudly and distinctly, "Well, come right in, you inviolable, ventriloquist cat." The net unfolded and soared upwards, but the man who cast it, to everyone's utter astonishment, missed and only caught the pitcher, which straightway smashed ringingly. "You lose," bawled the cat. "Hurrah!" And here, setting the Primus aside, he snatched a Browning from behind his back. In a trice he aimed it at the man standing closest, but before the cat had time to shoot, fire blazed in the man's hand, and at the blast of the Mauser the cat plopped head first from the mantelpiece onto the floor, dropping the Browning and letting go of the Primus. "It's all over," the cat said in a weak voice, sprawled languidly in a pool of blood. "Step back from me for a second, let me say farewell to the earth." "Oh, my friend Azazello," moaned the cat, bleeding profusely, "where are you?" The cat rolled his fading eyes in the direction of the dining room door. "You did not come to my aid in the moment of unequal battle, you abandoned poor behemoth, exchanging him for a glass of, admittedly very good, cognac." "Well, so, let my death be on your conscience, and I bequeath you my Browning." "The net, the net," the net was anxiously whispered around the cat. But the net, devil knows why, got caught in someone's pocket and refused to come out. "The only thing that can save a mortally wounded cat," said the cat, "is a swig of benzine." And taking advantage of the confusion, he bent to the round opening in the Primus and had a good drink of benzine. The blood at once stopped flowing from under his left front leg. The cat jumped up, alive and cheerful, seized the Primus under his paw, shot back onto the mantelpiece with it, and from there, shredding the wallpaper, climbed the wall and some 2 seconds later was high above the visitors and sitting on a metal curtain rod. Hands instantly clutched the curtain and tore it off together with the rod, causing sunlight to flood the shaded room. But neither the fraudulently recovered cat nor the Primus fell down. The cat, without parting with his Primus, managed to shoot through the air and land on the chandelier hanging in the middle of the room. A stepladder came from below. "I challenge you to a duel," bawled the cat, sailing over their heads on the swinging chandelier, and the Browning was again in his paw, and the Primus was lodged among the branches of the chandelier. The cat took aim and, flying like a pendulum over the heads of the visitors, opened fire on them. The din shook the apartment. Crystal shivers poured down from the chandelier, The mantelpiece mirror was cracked into stars, plaster dust flew, spent cartridges bounced over the floor, window panes shattered, benzene spouted from the bullet-pierced primus. Now there was no question of taking the cat alive, and the visitors fiercely and accurately returned his fire from the Mausers, aiming at his head, stomach, chest and back. The shooting caused panic on the asphalt courtyard. But this shooting did not last long and began to die down of itself.